Welcome back to AOH Primetime as we continue our series focusing on the work all the great people at Summit County Children's Services are doing to serve kids in need, to serve families, to serve our community all around Akron and throughout Summit County. And joining us now on the set, Kristen Lopez, you're the supervisor of this suit unit. And how did you get selected? How did this change your job, and what were you doing at Summit County Children's Services in your 25 years working for the agency that led up to you being selected as the supervisor?
Well, I started off in the intake department as a worker 25 years ago in intake and worked in various positions such as the hotline, kinship, training new employees, and in ongoing services, and then ended back up in the intake department. And over the past couple of years, we've just been starting to see a increasing trend in regards to ingestions and substance use and how that impacts the maltreatment of children and families.
So educate the audience. Substance use, the acronym stands for?
The Substance Use Impact Team.
Substance Use Impact Team.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there's a whole team of caseworkers.
Yes.
And of course, they're very passionate about what they do in serving families. And I got a chance to obviously talk about this just a moment ago. And describe for our audience what their day-to-day role, the caseworkers that go out, and perhaps the trigger for the call is from the hospital or from a case. How does the call trigger, and what are the caseworkers doing?
Yes, typically we're getting a call, most commonly from Akron Children's Hospital, that there's been an ingestion. Most often it is from marijuana use, but we do get some for cocaine use and other substances. Once we get called out there, we're meeting with the family at the hospital, Akron Police, or depending on what jurisdiction it is, there might be other law enforcement from depending what area the ingestion occurred in. And then we're talking to hospital medical staff and trying to collect information to figure out what happened.
And educate the audience, too, that not every situation results in a criminal charge. In a lot of cases, your agency is providing resources to help the family. Explain this.
Right. I would say our agency, the hospital, we're really trying to provide a lot of education to the family, providing lock boxes, trying to educate families, since we do see a lot of edibles with the ingestions, trying to educate parents in regards to not storing their edibles in areas where their other food and snacks are. Children, they're young and they stick lots of things in their mouth, or children see these edibles or these cookies that are not, that have marijuana in them, and they look good, so the children want to eat them and snack on them. So having them like in areas like your cupboards or your refrigerators is just not a safe place for them.
What goes into the work of mentoring and coaching, training caseworkers to be able to handle these kinds of situations?
Oh, wow.
A lot.
A lot. A lot of it's just, the day-to-day work and just trying to be, supportive to them, offering trainings for them. We're fortunate at our agency that we do have an education center where there are multiple trainings that are provided throughout the year. Our agency is also very supportive to us going to trainings outside of the agency as well. So just, providing support, trainings, education when we can to support the staff.
What advice do you give to college students or those exploring social work and maybe work with your agency? Maybe the interns coming in, maybe seeing this workplace in these situations for the first time. But what advice do you give to help them be successful? Or what advice do you give to somebody just considering this as a career?
I think it's a very good career. Obviously, I've been there for 25 years. There's lots of opportunities at Summit County Children's Services. Like I was saying earlier, I've worked in various areas at the agency. So there's lots of areas that you can explore to try to help family and children. The job is very difficult, and, advice I could give is just trying to take it day by day. Some days are tougher than others, but then other days you have really great days and you see success with families, and you work with great people. I'm fortunate that I have a really great team. I have a really great boss. And over the years, I've developed a lot of great relationships with the people that I work with at the agency.
What do you do to stay in it when the days aren't good? And you've done 25 years.
Yes.
And you were just saying some of the days are good, some are not so good. But what do you do to stay passionate, to stay in it, and to kind of get through those really tough moments?
I guess the longer you work there, you kind of recognize when you're going through those moments, trying to take time for yourself, you know, taking a day off if you need to, maybe at home, just, trying to, if some people like to work out, some people just trying to find something to take your mind off of it when you do go home. And also you have your peers at work. We have people that are supportive that you can go to talk to at the agency. Over the years, they've done a lot to really provide support to staff to talk about their feelings. We have a counselor, chrysalis, that's on site that comes to the agency on certain days of the month that really helps with that, mental health aspect of the stress that the job can cause. But I do feel like we just have a lot of support from the community at the agency and the connections that we have with each other that can kind of pull us up when we're feeling down or having one of those days, or they recognize when you're having one of those bad days and, can, be a support to you.
Speak to the stigma that might exist in the community that if Summit County Children's Services is involved in your life, then you're a bad parent. And this is incorrect without question.
Right, absolutely.
But the idea that the parent must be a terrible parent, or to allow their child to get into something like this is they must be a terrible parent. Address that stigma or that myth, and obviously, for our audience to understand.
Yeah, I think child welfare kind of gets a bad rap, maybe in TV shows and movies, and I think there's a lot of good things that we see when we meet with families. Families struggle. When I first started working at the agency, I didn't have any children, and now I do have children, and parenting's hard, and we are not judging. We know parenting's hard, and some families are going through very difficult things. They have their own childhood trauma, struggling with mental health, struggling with domestic violence, poverty. There's lots of things that people could be struggling with. So we really try to, take in everything that's going on with the family and not judge, but try to see what we can do to help them. There's a lot of resources that Summit County offers that a lot of our families don't know about. And so we're there to try to support them and link them to those services to try to help strengthen their families.
Fantastic. Thank you for taking the time to be with us and just share for a moment about what SUIT is all about and what your team is doing. Thank you for watching as we continue our series here to spotlight all of the work done at Summit County Children's Services, and of course to maybe dispel the myth that if Summit County Children's Services is involved, that the parents are doing something that they should be judged for, and that's absolutely incorrect. Right. And I love putting the spotlight on all the good things happening at your agency, and certainly appreciate that you're watching as we continue our series, bringing in all the good people from Summit County Children's Services. We will be back with more right after this. Stay with us.